Hey, everybody. I'll be right back. It's coming soon, starting just a moment. Starting just a moment here. We're just, hey, everybody, just looking at the chat, just making sure everything's good to go. Can you hear me okay? Just tell me if you can hear me. I just had to set everything up. We'll be starting just a minute. I don't want to be late for y'all. You got games to make. All right. So yeah, just comment in the chat if you can hear and see me okay. We're just making sure. I gotta put this on the big screen here. Let's see. Should work. We'll see. All right, just making sure that there's no hitches or video problems. Yep. We can hear you. Okay, I know it's shuddering because I'm like switching up like 100 video settings here. So just give me one sec. Okay, let's see here. All right, should be good to go. We got Steam Next Fest behind me. I hope you're in Next Fest. Leave a comment down below if you're in Next Fest. We'll kind of do that. Yep. Okay. Yep. All right. So yeah, just leave a comment down below if you got a game in Next Fest. If you want a link to your game, I don't care. Just link to it right below. We'll be starting in just a minute. Let's see. We got 4 minutes before we officially start. I'm gonna give everybody a chance to come do it. Let's see what we got. Let me just straighten this up so we don't see these little seams here in the video. Get it ready for those people who come in a little late. Yeah, just post your game down below and we'll see it. Let's see here. Let's see. I don't know. There's not a lot of people who do Next Fest. You'd be surprised, but it's all there. So what we're going to look at are what the charts are showing. You know what the top games are of Steam Next Fest 2025. We're gonna look at day one versus day last. Maybe I'll look at a Steam page. Maybe. I want to hear about your stats. I want to hear about other things like that. Let's see. We're also gonna maybe look at some other stuff. Let's see here. While we're waiting, don't forget for Steam Next Fest. I've got. Let me just switch over to this. For the exciting world of Steam Next Fest, to celebrate Next Fest Day, we've got black screen on. We've got the course sale going on right now. This is just until the end of Next Fest, so on Monday. When Next Fest ends, the sale ends. So this is why I call it my Next Fest sale. So as long as Steam Next Fest is up, this sale's good. Save $100 on the master classes, the 2 master classes. The other stuff, not on sale, but they're good. They're good stuff. They might go on sale for the Black Friday. Black Friday is going to be coming, but that's a while away. So we got this here. Yeah, this is what we got, the sale. Let's see here. Yep. If only you could do need save work. Yep. So we've got that. I think we're about ready to start. We got 1 minute to go. And then we're going to look at the Next Fest stuff. We're going to talk about it. But yeah, to get to this, go to howtomarketagame.com/courses, or just go to howtomarketagame.com and then just click right up there. That's as far as I can go because my screen's just a little low. Let me see if I can just drop this just a little bit. There we go. Yep. So And then the other thing we're going to look at is benchmarks. So let's look at the benchmarks while we're here. Again, be sure, because this course sale ends on Monday, because it's only live when Steam Next Fest is live. Speaking of which, here's Steam Next Fest. How many wish lists can you expect to earn during Steam Next Fest? Now, what we're going to look at is this is all the data from several games that I've studied last February, I think it was, when I did this one. So 2 Next Fests ago, I sent out a survey. And the other thing I didn't point out, I love this survey because I said, how many wish lists did you earn? Look at how smooth this chart is. It is like very smooth. There's a little bit of a hiccup here. It looks like I'm maybe missing some games that kind of fell in this range, but I think that's also algorithmic. That's not necessarily a lack of my data. But you can see I really got a very representative survey. Like I covered just about every game's performance from here on out. There's not like huge gaps where it just judders. Look at how smooth this line is. There's nothing. I captured every type of thing. Now, here's the thing that that kind of came from this this latest thing that a lot of people glommed onto. They really liked it. I think this is one thing that I learned from what you guys like was this chart right here. And this is the performance. And this is I made this chart because I showed that if you're bronze tier, you can see where basically Steam drops you. You can see where Steam's like, thanks for playing, no more visibility for you, and they just drop you. Okay, that's what this chart was here to show. And a lot of people will just use this as a tracker to see how they're going, and they're like, do you think I'm silver or gold? Here's the thing, the data is here. This is what determines whether you're silver or gold. Let me go up. The rating is based on how many wishlists you earn at the end. Okay, so gold is the 7,000 to 10,000. Silver is 1,000 to 7,000. So that's what determines whether you're silver or gold, not whether you align to that chart. It just means that you can see that a lot of the data here, you can kind of see based on it, maybe project. But I think the main thing, a lot of people, when they're new to this, they don't realize how kind of predetermined everything feels. Like I've done this and I can see pretty quick, like, oh yeah, you're on this trajectory, or you're on this trajectory, or you're on this trajectory here. And it's like, yeah, there's no surprises. And I think when you're coming from the other side, when you haven't been here before, you haven't seen the data, everything feels random. So if you're on this bronze tier, you're like, what? Steam must be doing something weird. I think there's a problem with my game. Valve's not showing it. I think there's a bug in Steam. And it's like, nope, this is actually very common to see this type of thing. I mean, it's your first game. You're just going to learn. Maybe you picked the wrong genre. Maybe you're making something that you shouldn't be making. All games are a miracle, but there are some games that just Steam doesn't like. And that's not a problem. It's totally expected. Okay. And I think this is the kind of reassurance that I wanted to show with this thing. Okay. So now that we've started Next Fest, here's what I want to do. I want to answer questions from the audience, okay? So here's how we're going to do it. You've got to post your question in big, bold stars because the live chat just streams really fast. And so I need a big, bold, all words, maybe even throw in an emoji that says question, and then ask your question. Okay, because that's how I'm going to see it. I'm just going to scroll through the chat to see who's asking the questions during this live chat. I'm only going for an hour, and that's because you shouldn't be watching so much YouTube. You have games to make, or if you're in Europe and it's the end of your day, you got to get out there and have fun. Go outside. Get away from the computer. Get away from your phone. Get off social media. Go have fun. If you're in Europe, go visit a castle or something. You've got beautiful stuff out there. I love going over there. You've got beautiful rivers. Go look at a river, okay? I want everybody who's in Europe to go look at one of your beautiful rivers, okay? So, ask your question with big, bold text, and I'm only going an hour, and then I'm logging off, and you should too. Don't hang out on YouTube. Watching YouTube is not working on your game, okay? You've learned enough. After this, you've learned enough for the day. You don't need to watch another YouTube to get inspired. Just either start working on your game or go enjoy your weekends. All right? So let's do it. Let's look at your big questions here while we're waiting. Okay. Let's look at this one. 6 Riz has a question here. It says 30,000 minimum wish list required to get success to be on new and trending. No, it's sales, not wish list to get onto new and trending. So when you launch your game, there's a widget called new and trending. And my best estimate is it's about $5,000 earned within the first 24 hours. It's based on dollars, not wish lists, okay? Now, but the more wish lists you have, the higher probability that some of them will convert to that $5,000 minimum. And again, I'm not entirely sure. It's also based on other games that are launching at your time. So I don't know if it's a ranked. So in other words, like if you hit 5,000 and there's a lot of big games, they'll rank you out so you won't get there. But I think it's about $5,000. And if you go to a publisher, they're going to be like, we're going to get you 30,000 wish lists. They're doing that because they know if they get 30,000 people to follow you, a certain percentage of those are convert. And if you have a low percentage of conversion, which is like 5 and below, the more wish lists you have, the better your conversion of that. 5% of a 30,000 is better than 5% of 10,000. See, but it's not based on wish lists. It's pure dollars. Once your game goes on sale, this is for everybody. Once your game is available for purchase, even if you're free, the algorithm changes. It's no longer about wish lists. It's about pure dollars because you cannot game dollars. That is a dollar that hits Valve's bank account, and so they make so many judgments based on that. All right, so just start thinking about it that way. All right, great questions coming in. Game Dev, how are you? Great. Next question. Spectrum of Sounds. Is it good to publish my demo in November to participate in the Steam Fest in June? Yes, I think that's a great thing to do. Publish your demo nice and early when there isn't too much stuff going on. I think November is a good time. So definitely do it then. I mean, not definitely, but when it's ready. It's got to be good, though. Make sure that maybe even run a playtest if you've run a playtest before, just to make sure that it's really ready because you want to get more wish lists so that when you publish your demo, you can push the email wish lister button and get onto new and trending free and ride that visibility wave. Okay. Question from Posmonot. Are we aware of any changes in October compared to February? Not really. We'll look at the list. I'll look at the list. I'll take a little break from questions a little bit. We'll look at the list. But I don't see any big algorithm changes. Some people are saying that some of the more bronze tier games are still showing up in the charts. We'll look. We'll see. Make an assessment. I don't know. Maybe they're allowing this. See, it looks like, day one, full day one. This is actually day one, but it starts at 10 a.m., so you lose half the day, basically. Full day one, full day two. In the old Next Fests, they started cutting you earlier. Maybe they've extended this, and they give you a little bit more visibility for longer. Maybe. That's what some people theorize. But nothing else. It's not like there's a new widget or anything else like that. It's pretty bog standard. I'm not going to run a survey probably for the games because I don't see much of a difference. Everybody on my Discord, howtomarketagame.com/Discord, we have a channel where people are posting their charts, and their lines are pretty much aligning with what we've got here. Now, there are a couple. See, this thing is really a big gap. There's a lot here. This is median. And the variance here is, one, because there's not much data. If you look at my data, when you get up to the super diamond tier, you'll notice my data doesn't have a ton. I don't have, because there aren't that many games. It's hard to find these games, and most games that are at this level are very well invested, and so they don't like to share their data as much. I mean, the sample size is like 5 way up here, and then maybe like 8 down here. So the sample size is not that big, not compared to silver and bronze. Look at how many entries were in the bronze and silver. I've got a lot of data there. There's not a lot of data here, so there's more, what do they say, variance and stuff like that. It's just not as big of a sample size for those higher things. And so this is some people were seeing posting in their in my Discord, their lines were kind of like in this area. Well, that's because diamond tier has a very high variance because I just didn't have a sample size. And this is median. I did a median thing. So there could be just 50% higher than this, 50% lower. And same thing with this, or 50% gold higher, 50% gold lower. This is, remember, median is the very middle point. So, there's a lot of variance that can happen in there. So you might be out there, but this is generally what it looks like. So I didn't see anything that was like, oh my God, things have totally changed. It's the same old same. stuff doesn't change as much as everybody says. Everybody's like, I always see these articles like, Steam changes so rapidly. You gotta throw out your old marketing plans every day because marketing changes the industry. Slow down. It's pretty much the same. It's kind of slow. I don't think it changes as much as everybody complains. I think the main thing is people are like, I'm new to this. I didn't know how to market my game. Now I do need to know. So you feel like it changed, but it's really you changed, not Steam. Feel that. Okay. PompyTube. Does wishlist to follow rate can be indicator of tier? Nah, it's too different. Wishlist to follow. Don't over obsess about the data. I don't think it's an appropriate thing to obsess about. Don't deep dive into the thing. Just look at how many wish lists did you get during this fest? And this is not you. I'm not going to you, but I see in general, if somebody has a weaker performance in Steam Next Fest, they start turning into like data conspiracies, or like it's like looking at clouds like, oh, that cloud looks like a tiger. That cloud looks like a bear. You start looking at the data. You spend too long in Steamworks backend, and you're like, well, my day one wish list to follower rate is this, and then the wish list to follow rate on day 5 is this, so that must mean I'm actually improving. They get like really, they start losing all meaning, and they start cherry picking little data spots to show that maybe something went okay or wasn't as bad as it. I don't know. Don't do that. Just like keep it super dead simple. No crazy ratios and stuff. Do the number of concurrent players in the demo count? To what extent? We don't know exactly. So for this, you know how I said, oh, it cuts your data. Steam, I went to the GDC presentation by Valve, and they said that they just use a machine learning algorithm to determine, which games stay and which games get promoted later on. And people were asking, like, well, what kind of data is in there? And they're like, we don't know. We just throw everything in the machine learning, and then it kind of does a soup. So I think concurrent user is part of that. I do think that it is. And we'll talk about it when we look at the charts. I just did a quick preview of the top games. They're all kind of friend slop, multiplayer, endlessly replayable. So their concurrent player count is much higher, which I think does signal to the algorithm. So I do think it matters a little bit, the concurrent users. Do you feel like... another question from That's Me. Do you feel like this next fest is somehow different exposure-wise from previous ones? Again, no, I don't. I don't see many changes. Again, look at my Discord, howtomarketagame.com/Discord. People were following right along with this, and people were saying, man, this actually tracks really well. So this chart, very similar to what we saw in the previous one. So no different, not too much different. Again, Steam doesn't change as much as people who complain on Reddit think that it does. All right. Let's keep going for the questions. This is great how you flag the questions. I'm loving it. Nice, tight, consistent questions. Really easy to read. Y'all doing awesome. Okay. I'm looking. Let's see here. I'm looking for it. Question. Do you feel like this next fest is different? Which should be prioritized for next fest? Steam page or demo? Demo, because people play the demo. So make a good demo. Just make a good demo. Just make a good game in general. Some games that have 7,000 wishlists are getting less impressions than games with 2,000 wishlists. Do you know why? Yeah, the game's better. So if you got, and it depends on your timing. So if you got 2,000 wishlists, so you're saying games that got 2,000 wishlists did better than games that got 7,000 wishlists. If it took you 2 years to get to 7,000 and you enter Next Fest, that to me tells me, oh, this game's not as exciting to people. People don't like it. But if the game's got 2,000 wish lists in a month, that's really exciting. Like they just announced before Steam Next Fest, so their velocity is much higher. Maybe they debuted a day or two before Next Fest, and so their velocity is much higher. That means to me, that's not that the algorithm likes velocity. It's just like this game's exciting to people. When somebody sees this game, they're like, well, that looks cool. I'm going to wish list it. That's what I mean by velocity. Don't overread velocity too much. And so that it depends on how long it took them to get that. So if it's a really exciting game that they got maybe they got 2,000 wish lists in 24 hours, that's awesome. That is a really good sign. So that means people like this game. So that means more and more people are going to wishlist it throughout NextFest. That's what it means to me. Question: bad visibility on NextFest. Good median playtime, 20 minutes of player. What next? I don't think 20 minutes is that good. I'm sorry. 20-minute median playtime. If you go to my benchmarks, 25 was like the absolute minimum. You'll see the games that do very well, and you'll see it in my Discord. People mention in the Discord median playtime. The really good ones, like these Diamond Tier games, typically have 2-hour median playtimes. 2 hour, an hour and a half median playtimes. I'm sorry, but 20 minutes just isn't that great of a median playtime. I'm just going to be totally honest with you, and I mean that compassionately. That means maybe there's something with the demo. Maybe the tutorial is too hard or too easy, too boring, too fun. No, you can't be too fun. But anyway, you got to figure out what's wrong. Like, why is it only 20 minutes? Beef it up. Even if you're like, well, it's a short narrative game. Well, short narrative games typically don't do well on Steam. Okay, typically. And we'll look at it when we look at the top charts to look at that. But yeah, 20-minute median playtime is not fantastic. All right, I have a demo. It's a single stage, and look at my benchmarks. So this is benchmarks, and I do a median playtime one. There's one for bench. If you click benchmarks up here, and then I do how long is a demo median playtime, you'll see. And it's typically the 40-minute ones are better. Better to release early access and later full release. Do we get visibility boost each? Okay, I've written a lot about this. How to market a game, then search this, early access. Okay, search early access. Lots of great articles. Very good deep dive. Please read. Books are cool. Reading is cool. Reading is much better than YouTube. YouTube sucks. Don't subscribe. Everybody who just subscribed, don't. Unsubscribe. What I want you to do is go to free stuff right here. Click that. Sign up for the newsletter. Much better than YouTube. YouTube sucks. Okay. But anyway, search here and read every article I've written about early access. It's a complicated question, but basically, if this is your first game and the nature of you asking this, don't do early access. It does. Technically, it does a little bit of a boost in visibility. Technically. But the bigger, like if we just purely that, but the bigger problem, the reason I don't think first game should be early access, read the articles. Read the articles. The reason I don't think first games is early access is because most likely your game's going to not do great. And when you do an early access game that's not great, you get into this upside down cycle where you release a game, early access, reviews are bad, sales are poor, and now the people who did buy it are like, why aren't you updating? Why aren't you updating this game? This game sucks. This dev is the worst dev who has ever lived, and he is worse than cancer. This dev is cancer. And you're like, what? I just released a game for children for fun, and I'm getting yelled at? Why? And so, but your sales are terrible, and now people are yelling at you to update it, and you're like, well, I do the math, and there's no benefit for me making this game anymore because I'm not selling anything. That's bad. Whereas if you're in that scenario and you just released it full and people are like, this game sucks, and you're like, okay, bye, and you can make another one, and you don't have this other monkey on your back, which is somebody yelling in your ear about how much it sucks that you're not updating your game every single week and doing a dev update every single day with a list in a roadmap. Early access sucks almost as bad as YouTube, okay? So I don't recommend early access for your first game because you don't know how to dev. You just don't. The reason you do early access, the decision of whether I should do early access or not is nothing about marketing. It's not like, oh, I get a double boost of visibility because I can launch twice and blah, 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 blah. That's not the reason you do early access. The reason you do early access is because you have such a deep, complex, systematically driven game that you need thousands upon thousands of players to tell you what are the next steps. Where do you drive the meta game of your game? Like, do you add more buffs or you nerf something or add this or whatever? That's why you do early access. It's a co-development. And for most developers, they're making the wrong type of game for that, and they're doing it. So I don't recommend early access, but please read. Please read the article. There's much more in-depth. YouTube sucks because I can't explain everything. Just read it. Reading's so cool because it's so dense with information. YouTube is very light in information. I have to be entertaining and I have to keep engagement up. But I don't when I write a blog. I can go deep and give you the real answer. So please, everybody, YouTube sucks. Reading's cool. So join the mailing list right there. Okay? Because I have to be like a little circus clown dancing for you to keep engagement up. I don't have to worry about that with a blog. I can actually be real. Okay. Steam page launch wasn't great. Game can still recover. Steam page launch, if you just mean you turned on the Steam page and yeah, you can do fine. It's the demo. The demo is the biggest time to really see if your game's got it. a lot of games just don't look attractive. So don't worry about it. Again, look at benchmarks. I have one on what are your first 2 weeks, and I give a whole explanation about how you don't have to worry if your Steam page launch wasn't exciting. Okay, so please read benchmarks. Again, please read. Reading's cool. YouTube sucks. Okay, I'm doing Steam Next Fest and a week later Screamfest. Any data on what I can expect? No. Well, I mean, see how you do on Steam Next Fest, and then see. I don't have anything on that. Just anticipate. Just the thrill of anticipation. Instant gratification dulls your senses. Just embrace the uncertainty. Life is uncertain, so just embrace it. If you did well in Steam Next Fest, you're going to do well in Screamfest. That's the way it works. All right? Embrace that unknowingness. Sit with it. What should be prioritized for Steam Next Fest? Steam page or demo? I already answered that. Demo. Make a good demo. Is there a East Shade? Welcome, East Shade. I know you. Is there ever a concern that doing a large playtest would cannibalize some of your audience that would be get you to trending free when your demo goes public? I don't think so, because most people, if you've seen the charts, I'd have to look it up. You know that Venn diagram that I show, where it's really a thin sliver of people that actually play and wishlist your demo? It is such a thin slice of people that actually play a demo that I don't think it cannibalizes, because there aren't that many people. What really happens, folks, this is what happens. So when you end Steam Next Fest, when this is all over, Steam gives you this chart, and they say number of people who played but did not wishlist, number of people who played and wishlisted, people who've wishlisted and did not play. Okay? This is for you data detectives who are going to overanalyze it. It doesn't make any sense. There's no good or bad. I've seen bad and good. Search here for Steam Next Fest. You'll see this Venn diagram where I did the median, and I did a game that did fantastic. It sold fantastic. It had a fantastic Next Fest. If you just looked at the Venn diagram, the number of people who played and never wishlisted is huge. And you would think, looking at this Venn diagram, you're like, this game's going to fail. But it didn't. And so my answer to you about playtest cannibalizing real sale, the demo launch, the most important thing is to get that, make sure your game's good and get that early wish list thing. Those people, you could throw them away. Like all those people that played during the playtest, if your playtest was good and a lot of people played it and the wish lists were good, that means you've got a good game. That's the important thing. Do you have a good game? You could just delete all those wish lists, those people, theoretically. Write them off, because you now have a good game, and good games just perpetuate new games and new players and new players. Steam, I hate it when devs have a scarcity mindset for players. Steam is infinitely deep with players. So even if everybody played your playtest that was interested in your game and they were like, I am done with this game, if your game is fun and interesting, when you launch the demo, all that stuff is going to come back again, and you're going to get, there's all new people because your game's good, so word of mouth will get out. I'm very confident about this. So please, folks, in general, don't have a scarcity mindset of, oh my God, if I do this, it's done. I've used up everything. You can never exhaust it. We are teeny tiny indies. We have no visibility. So please, every time you're like, oh my God, I think I'm going to overexpose myself, throw that down and run away from whatever you just thought. Just like pull that part out of your brain and throw it down. That is the worst mindset to have when you're doing indie dev, is like, oh my God, I think I overexposed my game. You are the tiniest indie who has ever existed. Get out of that mindset. Okay. Our game Shock gathered 13,000 wishes before Steam Next Fest. Now, 4 days after Next Fest, we just have around 800 extra. That is considered low. Is that bad news? Well, I can't do math right now. In the benchmarks, it could be. I mean, there's several factors about why. I mean, look at your resting rate. Do people play it? What are content creators? There's a lot of things, a lot of metrics that go in together. Just one bad Next Fest is not bad. Look at median playtime. Look at your resting rate way after Next Fest. Look at how many people you contact to play your demo, and do they play it, the content creators. When a content creator plays, what's your wishlist rate? All those things kind of combine to kind of show whether it's great. But I do think it's a pretty strong signal if you went into Next Fest and there was nothing major that happened, like, oh my God, there's this one thing where our game didn't work for 4 days. If it was pretty good, like no major problems, but your wish list rate is low, that's a sign. That's the sign that it's not great. But that doesn't mean you should just all just like die. Go deeper and like look at it. What's your median playtime? Look at content creators. Are they playing a game? Other things like that. What metric should I try to achieve to get my demo on the widget? I think you're talking the top things. You need a lot of wish lists, like we're talking hundreds of thousands, or you need like thousands in the days leading up to Next Fest. Okay, that's typically what it needs. That's what it is. Pretty much simple. It's wish lists. I started Next Fest with 120 wish list. Oh, that's not a question. You got to write. Sorry, folks. You got to write big, bold question to get them. Okay, I'm going to answer a couple more, and then I'm going to take a break, and we're going to look at Steam, okay? And then I'll still answer some more. I played a couple of demos of some of the more popular Next Fest, and they were all buggy crap. Hey, easy. We're all developers. This is a safe space. Somebody's trying hard. Don't call it crap, okay? Easy. All right? Everybody's trying their best. All right? Could be buggy. But buggy crap? Come on. We're here to support each other, okay? All right. It's a strategy for developers to just be in the Next Fest for the wish lists. Listen, game dev is hard, all right? First off, nobody wants to release buggy, and it's hard. This is a hard thing to do, okay? If you play the top demos, sometimes it's like the game is so fun, people will put up with the bugs, okay? If it's a fun concept, it's a hot genre, which is, we'll look at them. The one thing I saw that was a lot is that friend slot multiplayer co-op games are very popular. They're doing very well, okay? All right, so that's what I'm thinking is like, and so I just don't like the crap aspect that you just brought up, because it's like, maybe you can be like, look on the positive side of things. Hey, this is buggy. If people are willing to play it, even though it's buggy, there's something here. Why is this fun? And then go in with a positive mindset of like, this is fun. Okay, yes, they're a little rough. Okay, that means there's a lot of interest in this type of game because people are willing to put up with the bugs. That's the mindset to have, okay? Can we aspire more traffic? What? Can we expect more traffic on the weekend? Can you expect? I think that's what it was. No. This is what it is. Let's go to chart here. This is what it looks like. Typically, it looks like this. Now, you do see one on, I think this is Saturday. I don't remember. There's a slight bump. You'll see a little bit more, but it's not much more. The top games, see what I think it is. See how the top tier, the gold and the diamond, they get a bump? I think because they're at the tops of the charts, and so by then the bronze is removed and the silver is kind of holding steady, so there's more room for Steam to prioritize the diamond and the gold games. And so they will see it because a lot more people play on the weekends, but it's not a huge bump. It's not like, pretty much, folks, it's pretty much, I think, I haven't done the math in a while. It used to be on Next Fest, your first day, you just multiplied your first day wish list by 5. That's what you got, okay? It's pretty much, nothing really changes. After about this day, that's why I did it, was this day. That's why I did this thing on here, because this is Thursday, this is Friday. I want to do Friday because you're probably feeling what happened here. Whatever's happened by this day is what's going to happen for the rest. That's why I'm checking in on y'all. I'm like, let's see what happened on your Thursday, which was yesterday, because the data is now in, because you're always a day ahead of the data. So, okay, I'm going to do one more question. I'm going to stop at the half an hour mark, and then we're going to go look at Steam a little bit. I'll answer some questions in a little bit. And then at the top of the hour, I'm cutting this stream. No more stream, because you've got work to do. You have games to make. You have rivers to look at. You have your weekend to enjoy. No more watching YouTube. YouTube is a waste of time. You can read. Reading's good. YouTube is... Stop watching so much YouTube. Work on your game or go enjoy life, okay? It's just too much. Too much YouTube. All right. Do you know if the click-through rate for the Next Fest goes down my game? Don't look at click-through rate. Click-through rate it's a false... It's one of those, I see a tiger in the clouds. It's one of those metrics where you can over-obsess and like this or that. I just don't think click-through rate matters, because here's why. And I'm sure of this. I haven't done like a specific one, but this is similar to all the other ones. See these diamond tier games? These are impressions, okay? These diamond tier games are what you want to be. If you could pray and wish upon a star or a monkey paw, you would want to wish to be a diamond tier game, okay? This is what you want to be. I haven't looked at the data, but a diamond tier game is going to have the lowest, crappiest, worst click-through rate in the entire industry. Like, if we were to rank all these games would have the worst click-through rate, and these would have the best, the bronze tier, okay? You're obsessing about a metric that is actually inversely proportional or inversely correlated, because when you are diamond tier, Steam thinks you're awesome, so they put you on the widgets, and everybody looks at the widgets, and so this impression rate is so high. But when you're on those charts, a lot of people are just like, I only like, idle games, so I'm looking forward to idle game, and so they're going to pass by these diamond tier games, but they're getting all the impressions, so their click-through rate is on the floor. Everybody, that click-through rate stuff, pull it out of your brain, throw it away. Just don't even worry about click-through rate, because it's inversely proportional, and sometimes it is proportional just because your game's so bad. So click-through rate just doesn't matter, folks. It's one of those metrics you're going to obsess about, and it just means nothing. Okay? Question. Some small games were released during Steam Next Fest without participation in Next Fest, in which case it could be a good idea. Released during... Yeah, I actually think... we'll pull this up. If you look at the gap... Watch this. The gap... See, in general, I find people's intuition about when to release a game is totally ass backwards. When I look at games released, or let's look at the hype. Let me look at the hype chart. You'll notice per day, okay, the number of games that are actually good, which is 50 plus hype. Read the article. Again, I can't go into context. Reading's cool because you get more depth. Okay, Steam Next Fest, the number of games that are considered decent, like will show up in popular upcoming, is very low on the first day of Next Fest. See? It's actually better if you're going to release a game like on the first few days of Next Fest. Even though every indie's like, oh, everybody's going to be thinking about Next Fest and not thinking about our games and all that stuff. No. Look at this. It's a very quiet time in the days before Next Fest. And then everybody's like, I'm going to outsmart everybody. I'm going to release immediately after Next Fest. When most games, look, this is called the gap. At the end of Steam Next Fest, a huge number of people release games right after Next Fest because they're like, I am smarter than the average indie. I'm going to release a game when nobody expects it. Everybody's expecting it. See, like, that's why you got to do the data. You got to read articles, go deep in the data. Look, ironically, the best time to do it is at the start of Next Fest. Most indies' intuition about when the right time to launch a game is totally ass backwards. You should be doing it like when a big AAA launch is. You should do all this stuff. You got to understand this stuff. It's not until you really dive into the data that you realize, oh my God, our gut feel is often wrong. Often. Not all the time. Sometimes you got to use your gut. But after, you got to study it a lot. Okay? All right. Let's see. Which months are best for releasing a game? Search my blog. I write all about that. It's not, but in general, people overanalyze this stuff. When the perfect time to release it. All that thought process should be thrown away and instead be spent on what is the right type of genre to make, what is the right type of game, and just making a good game. The perfect day, month, week, hour, second that you launch a game doesn't matter that much. It's overanalyzed, way overanalyzed. But indies pick what game they're going to make at the most random stuff without any thought process behind it. I'm like, why did you pick this game? They're like, I don't know, we just thought it'd be fun. Really think about what type of game you make and forget about what day and week. Just pick one at random. Throw a dart. That's your day you're going to launch. I don't know. I think people overanalyze it. Okay. Okay, we're at the top of the half an hour. Okay, I'm going to switch over. We're going to look at Steam. While I'm doing that, don't forget, course sale. I put my courses on sale. My master class is on sale during Next Fest. When Next Fest is over, the sale is over. So I'm discounting all the courses by $100. The master classes, discounting the master class by $100. This has the wishlist and visibility class teaches you the order of things to do. Like, it's the roadmap. You just get it, and I actually go in. If you click on this, I actually go in for how to. Like, I do several genres because some genres have a slightly different marketing strategy. I actually did. That's what's new. If you look at the curriculum, I give a step-by-step example of how to do these things. Like, here's the curriculum. The roadmaps, go-to-market strategy. That's what I call them. And they are step by step. Like if you're making a horror game, here's the marketing strategy for a horror game. If you're making a rapid release where you just make a quick game in a month, here how to market that. If you're making a wholesome game, I have a roadmap for that. If you are like, we did no marketing, we're going to release in like a week, I've got a marketing strategy for that. It's like a detailed step-by-step plan. That kind of stuff, all kinds of stuff. I also do interviews with developers who've made awesome demos. And I just said, why did you make this demo this way? Like I play the demo with the game developer who made the demo. I'm like, how did you make this demo? And these are awesome demos. How did you craft it? And if you're like, well, is this Chris? Is this good? Look at this. Tinyglade thought my course was so good, they put me in the credits. That's actually says special thanks, not special thanks. Chris Zukowski for making excellent marketing courses. They took my course. This game launched with 1 million wish lists. Micro Civilization. I started with proper strategy, email pitch, learned how to do it. All these games, look, it has been an amazing resource that we have helped us achieve over 75,000 wish lists. We couldn't have done it without your incredible work on the masterclass and blog. Boom. I'm telling you. And if you don't like it, if you buy it, 100% satisfaction. All you have to say is, Chris, please refund the course. I will refund you. Okay? That's how confident I am that this is the most amazing course. Anyway, let's go over to Steam Next Fest. I'm going to switch over, and we're going to look at some games. Let me just do this, and then let me pull up Steam. Actually, I'm going to pull up, strangely, Photoshop, where I've done this little collage. Let me pull up Photoshop. This little crazy collage I made. Let me just pull it. Oh, forgot that. I always forget that OBS does not like to stream. Photoshop does not like to be streamed. They always, I don't know why. I probably should figure it out. But I'm gonna do this thing. I just gotta export real quick. Desktop, delete. Okay, hang on. Okay, I just gotta pull this up. Okay, this is probably gonna blow up everything. Desktop, delete me. So what I'm doing here is I'm pulling up a rank of the games on the first day versus the games that were on the last day. And what that's going to tell me is, okay, what we're going to do with that data is we're going to see what's changed. And I was actually gobsmacked. I was gobsmacked by what I saw today. Let me pull it up. Okay. So, let me turn this on. Boom, boom. Here we go. There it is. Okay. So, what I did was a Photoshop. I tried to do this in Photoshop. I just mashed together so it's nice and pretty, and I didn't have to type anything. This is day 1 of Next Fest. Top demos. Okay? I like looking at the demos because it's just the demo. It has less to do with the outside marketing and how many wishlists you have. Just like, what are people actually playing? What are streamers playing? And then I photo merged in Friday, today. I did like 5 minutes before the start of this festival, before the start of this call. I just mashed them together, and we can see what's moved. And I was gobsmacked. I was like, where did this game come from? Let me zoom in. Let me enhance. Look at that. Zoom in. Enhance. Half sword. Right here. What the heck? Where'd this game come from? I haven't seen this game on the list. I wake up. It's on the top of the list. Okay. It beat a Hooded Horse game. So here's Hooded Horse. Here's a Might and Magic. Boom. Hooded Horse. This game got to second. I didn't think this was going to happen. But then when I was looking at it, it started to become clear. This is pretty cool. So these are top demos. And you're going to notice the top demos as of today are all multiplayer co-op type of games. Now, I normally don't say do co-op games. Or I normally don't do multiplayer. Because you're like, oh, you wrote a whole blog about doing do co-op. Or multiplayer. Sorry. Co-op is good. Friend slop, where you just have your friends and the game's kind of built around friend slop. In other words, when it's multiplayer and it's open lobby, that is very risky, and I don't recommend it. But if it's friend slop, where it's like you don't need a lobby, you just need friends, and you just call up your friends on your Discord phone, and you say, hey, friends, let's play Friday night. And they go, yeah, let's do it, dudes. And you're like, yeah, okay. And that's the lobby. And so it doesn't matter if the lobbies are full or not. As long as you have enough friends to play these friend slop games with, you're good. You're good. Whereas if it's purely random games to fill a lobby, not good, because if the lobby's empty, even if you love the game, you're like, this is the best game, I love this game. If the lobbies are empty, you can't play the game. And then you're like, God, I love this game, but the lobbies are empty. Or if you're not up to date and you're constantly patching bugs that hackers are exploiting to cheat your game, you're going to hate it. So it's a huge undertaking to do a pure multiplayer. So if you're making a multiplayer game, please, oh dear Lord, please watch out. Okay. please don't do that. But so what we're going to look at are some of these games. Now I'm going to play some of these later, not live on stream, later this weekend. But Half-Sword, I think it's just an open lobby thing. Now these are good. It's good for them to do this right now. But here's the risk with multiplayer games. I analyzed all the games up to date that have released in 2025. All but one multiplayer game is dead now. Like the servers are dead and all the reviews are saying dead game, dead servers, full of cheaters, blah blah blah. So here's this is the false promise sometimes with these games that are not friend slot, pure open lobbies, people join the lobbies, is they have a big flash in the pan, big, and then it fades out. So if you're one of these games, I love you, good job, but I'm also kind of worried and concerned a little bit. Whoa, that is zoomed in. Okay, so here's the thing. All of a sudden, all these games showed up at the top of the chart. So, of course, a Hooded Games on the top, but this Half-Sword's a kind of multiplayer game. And what I think is, I'll have to look into it. My theory is that a content creator, a bunch of people played this, content creators, it shot up. I don't even think I saw this on the list on this day. I haven't looked. We'll look if we see it, but it shot up to the top. Final Sentence, I played this game. This game's fun. I won. I got first place. It's a typing arena game where you're all typing together and whoever's first, and it's kind of like Battle Royale but typing. I won. I gotta go with word sport. The secret is slow down. I have a really good fast typing speed, but this game really penalizes you if you make a mistake, and so slow it down. My word per minute, I actually dropped it about 10%, but I was able to get to front because I wasn't making mistakes. So that's my tip for that. So good. What you find out is you're an above average typer. I mean, that's what I learned. I don't know about you, but that's what I learned. But see, Final Sentence actually did pretty well so again, this is Friday. This is day one of Next Fest. So you're seeing stuff. So Star Trek Voyager down. But if you'll notice, a lot of the ones that are at the top of the charts on Friday, I'm going to zoom out a lot of the ones that are on the list are friend playing games. I think this is a co-op. I don't know if this one's co-op, Midnight Walkers. I'll have to check it out. But you'll see a lot of co-op games. See online co-op, multiplayer, horror. You're going to see a lot of horror co-op moving up to the top of the list. And I think Next Fest is really a bunch of people going, let's play free games with our friends. And so a bunch of friends come to Next Fest and they're like, let's all play together. And so they just see this as a free weekend of just fun games to play with each other. That's my theory of where Next Fest is going. And that's not like Next Fest is changing. That is the public changing. That's the big thing that I saw when I opened it up today, was like, whoa, people are just seeing this as a fun arcade. And I did a study where I went to PAX. The only time I've been to PAX, I went and I contacted people who were just regular ass gamers, not developers. And I said, can I just follow you as we walk the show floor? I did. I didn't actually publish this. I've got video footage of this. Me just following around random gamers, and I was like, can I just watch what you do and what games you pick on the show floor? And I was like, why did you pick this game? They're like, show floors, like in-person show floors. I was like, why did you pick this game? And they're like, I don't know, it's fun. I was like, are you going to buy it? Oh, no. People, when they go, this is why I do not like in-person festivals. Like where you pay thousands of dollars for a booth and then you set up your games and you have a nice banner and you're like, hey, do you want to play my game? And then people come back. The developers at the end of this in-person show are like, oh man, so many people played my game. People were lined up to play my game. I'm going to do awesome. And then it falls flat when it releases. And the reason is when people go to a show floor like PAX and they're looking around, in their brain, they're thinking, this is the world's biggest free arcade. I can just play free random arcade games. They can just walk up. There's no limit. They can just play it, go to another one. They're in a different mindset than when they're on Steam ready to play a game where it's like $20. Do you want to buy this? And they're like, nah. So the games that do well on a show floor are very fast-paced arcade games that they can play with their friends. And so I'm thinking that this Next Fest is kind of picking up a similar vibe where a lot of people are like, hey, it's a free game weekend. Yeah. So one thing to be a little worried about. That's my theory. That's one theory. But you'll notice, again, look, this is a co-op blue-collar job simulator. Car service together. Like all this stuff. Crash Out Crew, multiplayer. Long Drive North. I don't know if this one's co-op, but co-op. See it? It says co-op. So open world survival craft, huge, especially with friends. Roadside Research, online co-op. Driving game, I think it is multiplayer. Don't know. I'm just looking at tags. Look at this is okay. By the way, this is why I love indie games and Steam and stuff. Look, Star Trek Voyager fell down the charts. This is I don't know who made it, but at least AA with a big IP, and it still was out-competed by a game that looks like this. And I'm not saying Roadside Research is crappy. I'm just saying, like, look at this. This beat one of the biggest sci-fi IPs. That's what's awesome about Steam. That's why I'm always still confident about Steam. Anytime somebody's like, oh, Steam is just loaded up with crap, like, we're beating this. We can beat IP. All this is all original IP. All this stuff is original IP, I think. All this is original IP is beating the old guard. That's what's awesome about Steam. It really is, okay? But a lot of this stuff at the top, co-op games. You'll see a lot of these things are co-op. So that's my big revelation. It used to be Ultimate Chicken Horse. They released a sequel or something like that. Here's the other one. I played this. Is actually a pretty cool demo. This is what's cool. This demo is short. It's a puzzle game. Servant of the Lake. But what's awesome about this game is that it is a team that releases a lot of puzzle games, and they've built an audience. All their puzzle games are very similar. And what this tells me is you can survive making puzzle games if you stick with it and your first ones are interesting. I've seen a lot of point-and-click adventure games from studios who release a lot of them. The Beholder series, there's a Beholder series, not the Beholder with the eyeballs, but a different type of Beholder. They release a lot of puzzle point-and-click adventure games. They have too. So I think point-and-click adventure games are a long game. You should be planning to make 5, 6, 7, 8 point-and-click adventures, and they only get there. The other interesting thing is if I just mentally go back to when I did this again on Tuesday or Wednesday, Servant of the Lake started low, went high, and then came back down. And that's just because I don't know, relative. They did well, no matter what they did. But I think it's either all the puzzle game fans have played through, because you can play through it in like 15 minutes. Whereas, and this goes back to the people who were asking, somebody was asking about medium playtime. You start up higher. But these games have really long play times. Like these games, these multiplayer co-op games, very long medium play times. And I think that just pushes everybody else down. You got to have these. We talked about this game. I played this game. I'm really bad at it. But it's a multiplayer racing game. But yeah, that's the big stuff. But again, Karen, I've kind of been talking to them. They did a good push early before they went on Steam Next Fest. They got into a couple festivals that really launched them with good momentum into Next Fest, that sort of stuff. But anyway, that's generally what I saw here. Those are the things. I'm going to go back and ask questions if you have questions about this. Here's the thing. Since I've been talking a lot and I missed a bunch of questions, I'm going to go back down all the way to the bottom when you ask the live questions. And then I'm going to read those first, or the most recent questions. I know there's going to be a gap where I went down this way and now I'm going up this way. Ask your question again if it's a really good one. Okay. But in general, that's what I saw. And again, a lot of crafty, buildy, strategy, simulation-y, friend slop. Friend slop is a big asterisk there. But you'll notice, see, they're all crafting games, tower defense, stuff where you build random things, where you're building things. You don't really see any linear first person. The one exception is Servant of the Lake, puzzle game, where it's like a very linear experience. Steam is all about these crazy, crafty, buildy, strategy, simulation-y games, okay? Just look at it. And somebody asked me, I said that, and I saw in the comments of a different YouTube that I was talking about, and they're like, well, this is because your preferences are filtered for those kind of games, because that's what you like to play. No. This is top demos. There's no filtering here other than language. The only filtering is these are top demos. Across Steam, these are top demos. So no matter which way we slice it, crafty buildy is the type of game that Steam promotes because high play times, not a lot of content, so small teams can make very deep, strategic, complex metagames. All right, I'm going to go back down to the questions. Okay. Let's see here. Again, I'm gonna end this in 10 minutes because you have games to make or weekends to enjoy, not watching YouTube. So when we're done with this, I want you to step away, buy the course, then step away, close YouTube, and do something. Get some work done. Go look at a river. I don't know. Just hanging out on YouTube. Ugh, who would want to do that? Okay. Chris, thoughts on doing Next Fest with the missing middle strategy? What are the months? Well, in my course, I talk about the missing middle strategy. You should do it. Like, here's the thing, folks. Even if you had a poor Next Fest, those are wish lists you would have never had. So even if you're a bronze tier, that's not bad. Those are wish lists you would never have had anyway. So don't feel bad if you got bronze tier. That's not a wrong strategy. So if you're the strategy is still pretty the same. Even if you're making a middle tier game when you make it real fast, still do Next Fest. It's not probably going to do as well because you just can't get as much velocity, but that's not bad. It's free. Like, you get it. You're paying for this by giving Steam 30%, Valve 30%. Do it. Just don't forget about it. But again, my course goes into, I do a whole lecture on the missing middle strategy and how to do it and get the most out of it. Okay, we are thinking of participating with our demo in Next Fest and releasing 6 months later. Would you do this? I got to do the math, but yeah. I mean, no, well, see, 6 months that means there's another Next Fest because Next Fest is every 4 months. So you always do the last Next Fest before you launch. So if you're doing Next Fest and then launching 6 months later, there's a Next Fest in between there. So you should have done the last one. So really, you should always be launching in the 3 months, basically, because you want to skip a couple weeks right after Next Fest because every indie dumps their game after Next Fest. So the weeks after. So you should always be within 3 months of the last Next Fest you do, because if you do the math of like how much time you got. So that's my advice. Always do the last I stand by this. Always do the last Next Fest before you launch. And if you wait 6 months, there's another Next Fest that's in there. How much does demo reviews turn on affected wishlist Next Fest? My game has a negative, mostly helpful review. I don't have data on it. If it's mostly negative, probably. Valve, I don't know if this is the true for demos, but Valve has said mixed and above does not affect the algorithm. There's no, for released games. I assume it's the same for demos. There's no penalty for mixed or above. If it's negative and below, yes, the algorithm will actually punish you. Mixed does not hurt you in the algorithm, but I think there's a psychological shopper mentality if they see a mixed game, unless it's very, very big. I do think, I don't have firm data on this, but I do think shoppers are kind of going, ooh, mixed, maybe. I'll put it on my maybe pile. That's what I think they're doing. And I'm going off of some anecdotal evidence that a lot of devs tell me where they like, when we hit mixed, sometimes when we bob between mixed and full, or what's the next one up? Positive or mostly positive. I always forget which one it is. They can see their sales kind of like match what happens with mixed or not. And I think that's just players going, mixed? Okay, maybe. They're a little cautious. Okay. Next. How important is exclusivity for announced trailers? I want to premiere in my YouTube since I have a decent number of subscribers, but will make it harder to get into festivals. I prefer festivals. Your audience, yes, you might have a lot. It's still, festivals always are better. I mean, unless you're like one like a Jonas Tyroller or something, I do think exclusivity is better than your YouTube channel. I don't think YouTube sucks in general, but I don't think devs should spend a lot of time building up their YouTube channel. I know about Jonas Tyroller. I know about that the Danny guy. I know about Megabonk. I still think that is a one-off case. I think most devs are more. It's better spend your time to log out of YouTube, work on your game, make a lot of games, and use the audience of somebody else's YouTube work, some other bozo who spent too much time building up their YouTube channel. Who would want to do that? You go off of their YouTube audience that they wasted all their time with, and you go off of them. I still think that's a better bet. Okay, so I don't think you should exclusive yourself. You should exclusive with a different audience. All right. Does Slice of the visual novels have player base? Does Slice of the Life visual novel have a player base? Yes, they do. What are they called? Rusty Lake or Lake Rust or something. It's a company I did some research because I hadn't heard of them. I usually track people who've made a lot of games. They release a game basically every 3 years. They have a big audience. So I've got to do some research to see how they activated their audience, but they do have a big one. I think that is the main reason. The only puzzle game, there's one puzzle game that made it into this list, and it's Life, and they've been making puzzle games since 2016. So they've almost been doing this for a decade of puzzle games released, and they were high quality in the beginning to get them on the top of this list. That's what it takes, folks. If you want to make a puzzle game, wait 10 years. And then your 10th one after 10 years will do well. Okay, car wash spikes from festivals like Screamfest shock the system into giving more visibility? Yes. Are there still things you can do while Next Fest to make it go better? I don't think so. There's no tricks. Your cake is baked. I really think it's like you bake the cake, you mix up all the ingredients, and that combination of ingredients is it. And then Steam Next Fest is putting in the oven and closing it. And you just watch it. And there's nothing you can do. As soon as you open that oven to touch it, your souffle could fall or something bad could happen. You just, other than the fact if your game's like got a game crashing bug or some big bugs, yeah, update that. But there's nothing you can do to influence it, because I mean, theoretically you could reach out to a content creator and a content creator could play it, and that would be a good effect. But most content creators have decided what they're going to cover already. Like they've got it all lined up. They've done the work and they're like lining it up. And so if you come in like today and contact a bunch of content creators, I think most of them are like, yeah, I've already got them all scheduled. It's too late. So your cake is baked. It's just, you're just sitting there watching it rise. That's all you're doing. And if it didn't rise, make another cake and hope the next one will be better. There's just nothing you can do. I'm sorry. I'm going to answer as many as I can real fast. How much does demo reviews... Oh, wait, we talked about that one. Since the 10 reviews are important, why don't we see games launch for free at first and then set the price? Because if you launch for free, this weird hack thing that people think works, the 10 reviews, Valve actually has caught on to people trying to do this. So if you launch for free, get 10 reviews, and switch to paid, Valve deletes those reviews, or they don't count towards you, and then you're back at the beginning again where you've got to get 10 reviews now that you are paid. Don't do it. Don't try and game the system. Like, here's the thing. If you can't get 10 reviews, it doesn't matter. You got a problem there. Like, the thing is, there's no tricks. Just the trick is make a good game. If you can't make a good game, there's no trick that's going to fix that. Just make a good game, and if you make it and you do the right marketing stuff, mentioned in my course, you're on the right path. There's no like weird trick that you can do to game this 10 reviews. Just make a good game. Okay. Thoughts on doing Next Fest with them? We've already talked to that one. I'm just going backwards through time here. Just looking for more questions. I'm scanning. We started Next Fest with 0 wish lists. We're now at 1,300. Does this mean we broke out of bronze tier? Not exactly, because that was actually bronze tier was about. Let me look it up. Let me look up the benchmark. Let's see. Let's look at the benchmarks here. The benchmarks, Steam Next Fest. I mean, the thing is, watch. Bronze is about 1,000, maybe barely broke out of it, but watch. See, if we look at bronze tier, this is where you were. The median is 460, and the most earned was about that. You kind of did okay. I mean, it's fine. That's good. Median, that means half of them. You are in the top tier. I mean, I did see somebody last year that got 4,000. Like, that's kind of expected. You typically get, 150% over 0, but I mean, you did okay, but it's still, you would have done even more awesome if you'd done it with a little bit more. Because, see what I mean? It's just like, yes, even if you outperform what's typical, but it's not 50. Would you get 1,800? It's not way outside that. It's still just like, see, the typical like median silver is still like right around where you are. It's like, I mean, you did good. Good job. Congrats. But my advice still stands. Go into Steam Next Fest with as many wishes as you can. Okay. I mean, you did good. I don't want to diminish what you did. You did awesome. But it's not like, I don't think that like totally breaks what we're expecting. Are there still things you can do? I'm still going through the questions. We entered our Next Fest with a co-op game with 9,000 wish lists and are now on 11,000. Impressions are 35. What does it mean? I don't know. I can't do math live on stream. Just watch my benchmarks. Reading's cool, kids. Just read this whole thing. I saw people like cherry pick. They skip sections where stuff was explained. Read the whole thing. Shut off YouTube. Put some earplugs in. Read the whole thing. That's my expectations to read. What I think of what you did, read this whole thing. I kind of context it within the benchmarks. Since the first 10 reviews are quite important, why don't we? Okay, we did that one. Went to Next Fest after a month of organic promotion, 120 wishlist. Went up to 225. Turn-based RPG. Is that positive? Doubling wishlist. Again, the benchmarks are here. howtomarketagame.com/benchmarks. Scroll down to Next Fest. Click that. Will a game with 5,000 wishlists usually do better than a game with 2,000, or is it all the same as long as you have 2,000 or more? I mean, it's chances. And this is where it's some guy yelled at me for causation correlation, and then they got into a fight, and it's like, why are you fighting in the comments? Go work on your game. I don't know. It's just like, it's not, I just picked a box. I just was like, well, look, it just gets more bubbly over here. So I just drew a box, and that box ended up at 2,000. There's nowhere in the algorithm that says 2,000. I shouldn't have even done it. Every time I was like, maybe I'll just do that. There's nowhere in the algorithm that says 2,000. I'm starting to see this on Reddit. There's nowhere in the algorithm that says 2,000. It was just like, just drew a box, and my data point says, like, this looks a little bubblier here on the side. So I don't know. Just get a lot. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Anything I say, I'm going to get yelled at. So just don't freak out. All right. I'm going to answer one more question, and then I'm going to end the stream because you all have games to make or weekends to enjoy. You've got to log out of YouTube, okay? So let me ask the last question. Let me answer the last question before you log out of YouTube and sign up for the course and then join the mailing list because YouTube sucks. Don't subscribe to me. I do not want to see subscribers on my YouTube channel. I want to see subscribers on the mailing list. So click free stuff. YouTube doesn't give you anything when you subscribe to me. You push this button, it says subscribed. Yeah. When you join the mailing list, you click this free stuff, you get a free book. See how much better reading is? So YouTube sucks. Don't subscribe. Join the mailing list. That's what cool kids do. All right. I'm going to answer one more question, and then you're just going to log out of YouTube, so I won't see you for another 24 hours because you're not going to be on YouTube anymore. Let's see what the last question is. I'm just trying to look for it. Okay. Can one get organic reviews by just putting a game on demo Steam and letting their algo take the wheel? Can one game get organic reviews by just putting a game or demo Steam and let the algo take the wheel? I don't understand that question. I don't understand. I'm going to pick another question. I don't understand that one. How many wishlists do you recommend before entering Next Fest? I kind of talked about that. I'm gonna find this stuff. Can go to the benchmarks. Are there still things you can do while Next Fest? How can you get wishlist visibility with short production time? Okay, that's a good one. Okay, how do you get wishlist with short production time? Content creators. Get that demo out as soon as you can. As soon as you can, and reach out to as many content creators as you can, and just give them a demo. A slice of that demo. Just give them the key to the demo. Just do it. Just do that stuff. Still do Next Fest. Even if you don't enter with 2,000, you're working on a short production time, which I value. I think that's a very smart thing to do early in your careers to release smaller games faster. Reach out to content creators. They're going to drive your engine. A demo with content creators and cut your time on social media, cut your time on YouTube. The only time you should be watching YouTube is looking for content creators' email addresses, and then if they play your game, watch their YouTube channel. But cut your YouTube time, cut your YouTube, TikTok, social media X time, and spend it all on the demo and reaching out to content creators. And then if you go to, I don't have a link to it, but howtomarketagame.com/festivals is a list of festivals. I know it's like your short production time, but still look for festivals that are open and apply for those festivals. You might not get into them, but it's worth a shot. So it's festivals and content creators. That's it. And make sure that demo's out and keep it out. Keep it good. All right. Thank you so much for showing up. I really appreciate all of you being here. I like all of you. I don't like YouTube, so please log out of YouTube. I know some of you think that, like, well, I like to have it while I'm working and in my background. Studies have been shown you cannot multitask. It's a fallacy. What you're doing actually is you're rapidly task switching, and you think that you're multi-threading, but you're not. Human brains can't multi-thread. So you're actually doing both poorly because you're rapidly task switching, and task switching has a tax. There's a tax to task switching. So even though I know you think that you're being more productive by listening, and you're like, I needed that, you're not. So don't just log out of YouTube. Focus 100% on your game. Get that game out, or focus 100% on enjoying your weekend. Go outside, go to the river, enjoy yourself. Just bask in being alive. Another good thing that you can do, play some games. That's what I recommend. Go onto Steam Next Fest, pick some of those games. You should be playing demos because you need to see. A lot of people ask me about like, oh, what goes in a demo? How do I cut it? How much time should I put? Play the top demos and just get a feel for what those demos are. Like, what do they feel like? How long are they? How do they call to action to do wish lists and do all that stuff? And then play some demos that are mid-tier. Like, pick a genre that you like and deep dive. You can filter for those genres and pick ones that are kind of like on the lower side things that kind of look a little janky. Play those and you see like, oh, look, they're not doing what the big boys do. Okay, I can see what's missing from this demo. Study your genre. What you should be doing is whatever genre you're making, this is your homework. Log out of YouTube and play all the demos on Steam Next Fest that are genre, even the ones that are jank-ass, jank with AI graphics. Play them because you need to get that just sense of what is different between a janky demo and an awesome demo. So play some janky-ass crap, all right? And with that, I'm going to sign off, and I'll see you all later on the news.